What's up with y'all? What's up with y'all? Welcome back to Moxy Approved. Man, a firestorm hit online once Tory Lanez verdict came out. They found him guilty on all three charges, mainly for shooting Megan Thee Stallion in the foot. Now, I thought it was a lot of mistakes in this case, because I followed it here and there, but as you know, I had more important things to attend to. But from what I saw, it seemed like there was a lot of mistakes on this case. So I want to play this video from Mysonne, who went live with Tamika Mallory, because their opinion seems to be much different than the other opinions that I've saw. But before we get to this clip, please do me a favor and hit that like button. Make sure you got your notification bell turned all the way up to all, and apply pressure to that subscribe button. Apply pressure to that subscribe button. Run the tape.
Up shit. They was making it seem like, oh yeah, it was cutting shut. They was giving you one piece of the information. You were not. They gave you was actual facts. They was giving you, oh, come on, this what happened, this what didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they try to tell Tory he did this, or they try to say Tory did this, or Tory didn't do this. This is what they kept on trying to tell y'all. Oh, Tory. Oh, They said it's gunpowder on this person's hand. They said there's no DNA. So there's no DNA, then you listening to all of this bullshit. You're listening to all of the information, and you keep listening to the information and it's lies, and you going and saying, well, he's a lawyer. But you're not getting none of the information, right? I was listening to the trial, and I'm like, damn, so let me go. I'm going getting real information. Literally, I'm telling you, listen. Milagro, whatever her name is, the lawyer guy, and DJ Akademiks was giving y'all false information the whole time. The whole time, bro. This was all of that shit that they was feeding y'all was cap. It was cap. They was telling you, no DNA, you gotta quit. Right? He said that she shot. You didn't hear the testimony. You never heard any of the real testimony. You didn't hear that even when nobody told y'all that when Kelsey went there, she tried to recant her statement, that she said that he paid for her lawyer. Nobody told you that that half the shit she's saying, they knew she was lying. Right? Nobody told you that they played her original statement that she made 2 months prior for 80 minutes that verbatim told a whole story, the same exact story that Meg told. Nobody gave you that information. Nobody was telling you that. You just thought, oh, Kelsey did it, right? Kelsey said, only person that said Kelsey did it was nobody. They had nobody to corroborate that story. They didn't tell you that the one witness that they said saw a flash come from her hand actually said that she shot inside the car. He didn't say he saw a gun. He said, I saw a flash. But he heard 4 or 5 shots come from Tory. You think that's reason? There's no reasonable doubt in that. There's no, you took because they said you got caught up in the pool and what happened and why they were arguing, the literal sense of what happened. You didn't realize that everybody who was in that courtroom that watched Kelsey give her testimony knew that she took the bag. There was no doubt. I don't know who told you anything, but there was no doubt. They didn't tell you that she said, yeah, he bribed me, but I didn't pay attention to that. He said he was going to pay me, but I didn't pay attention. Oh yeah, who paid for your lawyer? I think him, I don't know. You can get in this in real time. And if you was and you blocked it out of your mind, that's not nobody else's fault. Recorded him calling from jail, apologizing to Kelsey. She got a text message of him apologizing to Meg. Like nobody told you these things. I don't know why nobody was giving you this real. These were things that could be proven. No, she said, no, I got it on. She said, is he paying? She said, I don't know, maybe. That's what she said. Nobody was giving you these facts. Nobody told you that he had nobody to corroborate any story of anything else that happened. Y'all was listening to bloggers who was biased and was trying to make you believe something that actually wasn't going on. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Y'all was listening to shit that didn't make sense. That's what I want you to understand. No, it don't matter about me being biased. Me being biased don't matter no more. The case is over. I'm talking about it never made sense. None of the shit they was telling you ever made sense. None of it. You pleaded the fifth because you took the check. She pled the fifth because she took the check to plead the fifth. Everybody know that.
So first of all, I was there in the courtroom because I keep seeing people say you don't know what, you weren't there. So I was there, to be clear. And number one, it didn't say that there was no DNA. They said the DNA was inconclusive. So we have to be very careful when we're repeating what took place because they said the DNA was inconclusive. That means that if the DNA is inconclusive, they can't determine 100% whether it is yay or nay. That means they didn't determine 100. Y'all's theory, some of y'all, is that Kelsey shot the gun. So why didn't they get her DNA conclusively? They didn't. So that means that if your position is that Kelsey shot the gun, then her DNA should have been conclusive on the gun. The fact that her DNA is not, nor is his, that means that somebody wiped the gun and they smudged it enough that you couldn't tell one way or the other. The bottom line is that the defense's witness, which is this guy, right, who tells the story, the Sean Kelly guy, just to be clear, the Sean Kelly says that he saw one flash go off in the car that he believed was a gunshot, but he never saw a gun. He said he saw one flash go off in the car that he believes was a gunshot, but he did not see a gun. He said he saw a man, though, with a gun shooting all over the place. And to your point, my son, when you talk about the way that these people lie, the reporter, the guy who's the lawyer, whatever guy, and by the way, let me just tell this quick story and then I'm gonna get out your live so you can keep on talking, right? And that's not true that she never got tested. So again, folks, y'all need to stop listening to people who are on here. Just stop listening to people who are on the internet, right? My thing is, my son says he doesn't believe there was a fight. I think there could have possibly been a fight. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, somebody pulled out a gun, and we now know that the gun, in fact, when I was on I didn't know much about the Milagro girl, but people have told me over and over. So now I know she's a blogger who has been reporting on this situation. She told me that the gun was registered because I was saying it wasn't registered, which now I have found out that the gun was not registered, but she said it was registered. We had a whole thing and I was saying, oh, I apologize because I stated the wrong thing, but the gun actually was his gun. We know that. His lawyer never tried to say that he didn't have a gun in the car or any of that. So we all know that whether or not they was all fighting, it could have been 20 people fighting. Somebody shot, and the man Mr. Kelly, who gives his testimony, says he saw something in the car that go into the car. Megan is outside the car. So even if she shot once into the car, if we want to go with that theory, it still is not the shot that would have hit the person outside the vehicle. The person who is shooting, that he says is shooting like this, was the person who he said was the shorter man.
You can't plead the fifth. That's what the lawyer kept trying to tell Kelsey. That's what the DA was saying. What are you pleading the fifth for? When did you shoot the gun? Did you? We're not asking you questions about you. We asking you questions about somebody else. You can't plead the fifth to these questions. And she kept saying plead the fifth, and they explained to her that you can't plead the fifth. You got to answer some of these questions. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. You said that's somebody. Listen to me. She came in there with a lawyer, which when they asked her was her lawyer being paid, she said, "I don't know. I think so. I don't know."
Okay, wait. So now look at this person here. First of all, A1, somebody, he and I been going back and forth. He said, y'all, wow, with what he said, 2 women fought. He said 2 women fought, and then 2 men jumped on. So that means everybody was fighting. He said everybody was fighting. So still, we back to the same thing. If
and then he said everybody got a car, and they all started beating on one.
Everybody jumped up. Exactly. Then this other person says, he says here that you're pointing in the air, but she got shot in the foot. See, this is my thing. This is not what happened. I'm shooting, I'm doing this. He said that the person was going like this. This is what he said. The person was going like this, which means and that's what I'm talking about, the lawyer guy. The lawyer guy specifically put his hand in the air and was like, oh, he was shooting all like this to try to make people believe that he was only shooting upward. But that is not what Sean Kelly said. Sean Kelly said that the person was shooting like this straight forward, and he was shooting in everywhere. That's what he said. So people can say whatever they want to say and try to mix it up. But in the end, to your point, my son, the jurors are going with exactly what they heard. They're not going with the bloggers and what they say online. They're not listening to somebody that is purposely, intentionally firing this way. They are watching a man on the stand with his hand pointed out straight, shooting out of control. Because that's exactly what the man said. That he stretched his hand out straight, right? So if he stretches his hand out straight and he starts shooting, what that means is whether he intentionally, which by the way, none of the charges was for an intentional shooting. He did not get found guilty of intentionally trying to shoot Megan. He got found guilty of reckless endangerment, basically. And it's different words for it, but it's pretty much reckless endangerment.
But the bottom line is, and Kelsey needs to be charged with perjury. Kelsey intentionally went to that courtroom and lied on tape and lied in front of that audience and knew that she was lying. And they played her whole testimony, and what she gave an encore for 80, 90 minutes of her telling what happened. And so none of y'all understood that this is a fact. This is 100% facts. And there's more information that you'll probably be able to get soon, because somebody gonna get charged. That's the bottom line. She's definitely should get perjury charges.
And that's another thing. I see somebody on here saying that Milagro was in a hotel paid by Tory's dad. I don't know if that's true or not, but it brings up in my mind what I was about to tell you about the lawyer guy. When when the whole situation was going on with the glass in her foot, that's how I got involved with the whole situation in the first place and why I started paying attention. Because I was, I was concerned that people were saying that this woman had glass in her foot, and then a man was being said, they were saying he shot her, and it was too confusing. So I'm like, let me pay attention and see what actually happened here. And I quickly learned that it was not glass in her foot. It was actually bullet fragments. The lawyer guy was running around talking about breaking news, bombshell news, glass in Meg Thee Stallion's foot. The doctors at the hospital said it was glass in her foot. So I contacted him and was like, yo, bro, like, what are you doing? I hope you're not this bad at your job as a lawyer that you're not reading all the documents. because it was very clear that the first person who saw her he didn't even have the ability. This is the emergency room doctor who did not even have the ability to know exactly what was in her foot. He went by the story she told him and he wrote that on the paper. 2 or 3 pages later in the same report that was such a bombshell report, it says that when the surgeon got there, the surgeon looked at her foot and said, this is not glass, this is bullet fragments. And basically at that point, the situation, whether she was trying to stick with the glass story or not, it was a wrap. That wasn't gonna work. So I told him, and he's like, oh, okay, well, I didn't know that, I didn't see it, and we kind of go back and forth. He said he read the documents, and then he corrected himself, but he still did it in a way that was like, oh yeah, like trying to gloss over it. So I started paying attention to him. When I got to court, though, talking about this person who said that the dad paid, which I don't know that that's true, but let's just say it is. Guess where all of the bloggers and the media people and the lawyers and DAs from around the country studying the case and ADAs and all these people, guess where they were sitting? They were sitting in one section by themselves. Well, guess where Mr. Lawyer was sitting? With Tory's family. He was sitting among Tory's family on the other side of the court. So once I saw that, I already know what it is. I understand what it is. And he should have just said that I support Tory Lanez, just like we said, we support Meg Thee Stallion. Hence the fact that we did not go every single day back and forth, giving our reporting on what was going on, because we support her, period. So if you support Tory, don't try to make yourself seem like you're objective when you are not.
The bottom line is, those people was lying to y'all. And that's why y'all was talking about this is innocent and there's a mistrial and all that, because you were not getting the facts of the case. They was giving you sound bites. They were saying, oh, he said he saw a flash, a girl had a gun. You didn't hear whole testimony. Nobody was giving you the whole testimony of what the man said. Nobody was giving you so you could hear it in totality. They kept on, Kelsey went on the stand and she recanted her statement. She said, she laughed. She said, oh, nobody said dance, bitch. That's all he reported. He didn't say, okay, there's a whole nother, they're listening to this. And in this part of the testimony, in her report to the police earlier, she gives a whole account of Tory actually shooting and breaks it down and pretty much says the exact same thing that Meg says. There was 2 people it was 3 people in the car, 4 people. Only 2 of those people gave statements. The other 2 people didn't give any statements. They didn't give you anything. So you think that your theory of something that happened when the person who was in the car that's being accused ain't give you no information, and the other person ain't give you no information. It didn't make sense. There was no reasonable doubt. There was no reason to doubt that Kelsey's first statement that she gave was a lie. When they looked at the communication between Kelsey and Meg were still communicating with each other afterwards. There was constant communication. Kelsey, you all right? Kelsey sent the whole text message to Meg talking about how he beat her and how she was feeling pain, should she go to the doctor and all this shit. This was a correspondence that they was having after. When they said that the police, when they came there, Kelsey was like, Meg, are you all right? You good? They were still talking. This wasn't a conversation with people that was just finished fighting and getting beat up. This is why it never made sense to me. It never made sense to me. Maybe they had an argument in the car, but I don't see where nobody proved that there was a physical fight between them. Nobody proved that at all. There was nothing that was proven to that.
Here's what I'm saying. My last point on this whole thing is this right here.
DNA.
Right? By the way,
DNA.
Saying
DNA was inconclusive, meaning it could be yours, it could be somebody else's. We can't tell for sure. So if DNA is inconclusive and it doesn't belong to nobody, but we know that somebody used the gun and got shot, it's going to be proximity. It's going to be reason. It's going to say, okay, the gun was caught in his lap. He didn't say it's nobody else's gun. The gun is in between his legs, under his seat. He didn't tell us it's nobody else's gun. This woman said that she shot her. We got a testimony from her saying she shot her. We got the man on the camera saying he saw the man shooting wild. The gun was in his. It is everywhere you go. The gun was his. No, there was no other testimony that said he never had a gun. There's no testimony ever that said Tory didn't have a gun.
This guy, well, and the defense never says that he didn't. But this guy, everyone tell him he's been respectful in our conversation.
That is a lie. That is a lie.
But listen, he asked this question. He said, why didn't the prosecution call the eyewitness, right? That's the thing about the whole situation. The reason, to me, one of the reasons why is because his story was so all over the place. To me, half of what he said didn't even really make a lot of sense. So the fact that he's saying the shot was in the car, this and that, all of these different things that he's saying, it didn't make sense. And so when the defense calls him, they would take, it was a Hail Mary for them. They were hoping that his statement would confuse the jury. The problem is that the story he's telling about the shot going off in the car can't help them, because you need the shot outside the car, and by the way, that's another thing. We sat there and listened. I sat in the courtroom and listened to the shots. There was not one pow in the car and then 3-4 shots, which the man says that happens outside the car. That's not what happened. It was 3 shots and then quickly 2 after, a little pause, and then 2 after. So where's your one shot that this man is saying was in the car? You don't have it. It's not on this. And by the way, the audio, the sound that we hear of the shots is not coming from this man. The man is giving his account of what he saw. The sound of the shots is coming from the ring lights and the cameras and whatnot that's around the house. And it doesn't give you one shot. It doesn't give you this one shot. The man didn't, and that's what I'm saying. People change words so that they can make it make sense for them. So the same person that I'm talking to, Al, whatever his name is, his thing was, well, there was shots and flashes, right? Okay, so if it was shots and flashes, then where
what's
in the
confusing
car?
To me? They keep saying this Rock Nation chat, and if you really think about this. No.
I wouldn't even ever.
But it's not that. No.
I don't care. Listen,
I want to break down something, right? If you look at the people who've been paid, right? If you look at the people who've been reported, right? They ain't been nobody from Meg's side. Most of the people that have Meg, we haven't said anything. We've been quiet on the internet. Maybe I see somebody blogging later. This shit is capped. I'm underneath, but I haven't posted anything on my page about this case. I wasn't trying to sway it either way, right? When you look at these people that was with Tory, when you look at this, when you look at them saying he offered her $1 million, right? And then she come in and completely change her statement, and she don't want to make she come with a lawyer, right? That quote unquote, she says she don't know if he paid for, right? Next thing you know, the bodyguard done disappeared the night before trial, after he gave a full statement saying how Tory came to his house to pick up his bags and told him that he shot her. He was supposed to testify. All the people everybody that was testifying just suddenly disappeared. But you talking about Rock Nation. Everybody, they full statements, this happened, and they all started recanting their statements. All of them. So I'm confused of why you saying Rock Nation ain't put up enough money. It didn't make, because none of the people that they were supposed to, the only person that testified on their behalf was Meg. And everybody else was testifying and trying to throw the case. So I'm confused.
The bloggers that most people are cool. Y'all think, so this is what's so crazy to me. All of these bloggers that's been talking, that's y'all favorite bloggers, every single one. So you telling me that Rock Nation could pay me that didn't say anything They could pay you, and we standing down, not even talking about the situation especially once they got to court. But even before that, we're not even talking about the situation. So they could pay us, and we not talking. But they can't pay some bloggers to go do what is happening in support of her. That's happening with Tory. Just help me understand that. So they paying us, and we shutting up, right? But the people
that hate Meg is mad loud, but the people
they
that
paying
get
us
paid
and we quiet.
by Rock Nation like us, we quiet. Just shut up.
Right.
We
getting paid by Rock Nation and we quiet. They paying us to say nothing. But the other people, they don't get to pay no bloggers. So they don't got a split thing. They don't got a bunch of bloggers out there that's going hard for Meg. They got none of that. All they got is basically majority of people dragging Meg every single day, dragging. And we the people that's getting paid by Rock Nation, and we quiet. Like,
you gotta try something else.
Different.
The bottom line is, from the beginning, I knew, listen, when I talked to Tory, I knew he was lying. Right? I knew it. It's at least 5 text messages, his messages, his own voice messages, Kelsey sending messages to everybody saying that he shot him. There's nothing else. There's no dialogue anywhere. There's nothing else that creates a counter narrative. They try to paint a picture, but Tory couldn't even get on the stand and say this what happened. Nobody corroborated this story. Nobody.
This is another thing. The only thing that when the jury closed their books or whatever, and they went to the back to deliberate, they couldn't turn around and say, well, Tory said this and this and the third. The only thing they had from Tory, again, they're not going by all of this hoopla, who think what said, who said what. They going by what actually is reported that is factual. And the only thing they had from that man was Kelsey didn't do it. That's all they had. They don't got no other statement from him. They don't got nothing else.
Only statement he ever said that about anything, when they said Kelsey shot, Tory wrote, "That's not what happened." And they didn't even put that. That wasn't even in evidence. Saying. But that's when I knew he was lying. When I seen him on the Shade Room, when they said, "Kelsey, did you shoot Meg?" and he said, "No, that's not what happened. That didn't happen." I knew he was lying from then. Because then he went in my DMs.
Oh wait, no, he did say some other things. He said he was sorry. He apologized as much as possible. He never says in his apology to Kelsey, or when he calls her, he's apologizing, right? And everybody's saying, well, he's apologizing because whatever they were saying. He messed with both girls and all of that. He never says in his apology, but yo, Kelsey, you was bugging. Like, you was bugging. He never says that. The only thing he says that if you want to in any particular context, the only thing he says is, it should have never happened. I was drunk. That should have never happened. He never says, well, but you was bugging too. Nothing. Zero. So all I'm saying is that let's just get very clear. When people say Tamika Mallory is biased or Mysonne is biased, well, we are replying to you saying, yes, we support Megan 100%. And that's why I stopped talking.
Because we didn't talk. I said to myself, you know what? I know where I stand. I'm not going to say nothing else. I'm going to wait till this trial is over. Because I'm already looking at it. I'm saying none of this shit makes sense. Like, I've been a man my whole life. I've been around women. I don't know women who are best friends that would shoot each other because she fucked a man that wasn't even her man. I just don't know no shit. I'm talking about me. I'm giving you my life. You might know somebody. Listen to me. I'm telling you me. Me. Yeah. Me personally, I don't know. Okay, so then that's good. I don't know nothing ever. And another thing I never seen somebody who said that person shot me be lying. I've never seen that. I heard rape be lying. I heard all type of shit. I've heard a bunch of shit. But I've never seen somebody that got shot point to the person that shot him and be lying about the person that shot him. Never,
Okay.
that's never happened.
Okay, well, let me just respond to you. First of all, you can't say it never happened. You can say you never heard.
Me seeing it has never
but
happened.
I've
never seen it happen ever.
I'm gonna respond to you by saying I've seen less shit make people shoot people, women shoot women and shit. I'm talking about less than that. You talking about she slept with her man. That could definitely make all kinds of shit happen. I'm talking about less than that has happened that make people start doing stupid shit, pulling out guns and whatever else. I am not of the same mindset, right? Because the way that I see it, I feel like it's a whole bunch of stuff that we will never know, right? It's a whole bunch of stuff. When you ask me how I feel about the situation with Kylie Jenner and all of that, I see much more into that. My opinion of it is not the same as what Meg said. It's just not. I'm not going to sit here and lie because I don't have to. Megan is not my friend. We don't hang out. I just know the woman was shot and she deserved support. And that is why I was there, right? But I don't believe that story happens exactly the way it happens. What I know is that at the end of the day, all of that shit does not mean a thing. None of it means anything. Whether or not Kylie was literally riding Tory in Megan's face, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that clearly all of them got into it. They all got into a argument. They was drunk. They was fighting. They was arguing. People got into it. I don't know whether or not she fought him physically. I mean, the two women was fighting or not. But I'm going to just go ahead and say, yup, they was fighting. Because I don't care that much to try to say that they wasn't. They could have been throwing down, tossing each other all around. What I know, though, is that man had a gun. And the eyewitness said he saw him swinging his hand back and forth, shooting back and forth. That's what the man said. So now that for me, with all the other things, as you said, Kelsey text early from the beginning, he shot Meg. Tory shot Meg. She tells a story that is clearly the same exact story. The arm over the thing that Meg says about the arm over the car door, same exact story as what Megan says, and again what the eyewitness says. And this is his gun, and he's apologizing back and forth. And Kelsey can't remember who paid for her lawyer. All those things add up to me as being he shot that woman. That's it. So I don't care. They could have been, as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to tell the story like this, and I'm really getting off. Everybody was fucking. I don't care. They was all fucking. Meg lied about it, about messing with Tory. I think that the Gayle King interview was a bad idea because she clearly did not want to talk about her personal business. It was a bad idea. I understand why it happened though, because these people were pummeling her so much that she needed a place that she could go to tell her side of the story. And then she was asked a question that she did not want to answer. And I think that was a bad idea. That's my personal opinion. I don't really care how people feel about it one way or the other. But what I know is that woman got shot and he shot her. And the jury sat there. They didn't listen to lawyers, whatever his name is. They didn't listen to this one, that one, and all these other people. They sat there and looked at the evidence clearly and came back with the conclusion that supports all the shit that we know for sure are facts about this case.
And that's the bottom line. And the bottom line is, the next bottom line is that Kelsey needs to be charged with perjury. And she definitely needs to go to jail.
Absolutely.
And I think the security guard who disappeared need to be held in contempt of court, because all of this shit plays into the same narrative, man. And I think the jury realized exactly what was going on. I think the jury, because if I would have been sitting in that jury, I'd be like, okay, so now you come in with a whole nother story after you done said this whole story 2 months ago. You said this, y'all ain't been friends in 2 years. But 2 months ago, you came here. And you even said it, we ain't talking. I was just mad because she didn't take up from me. You said all these things. But now all of a sudden, you don't remember anything. Okay, cool.
So there you have it. I thought it was interesting. He definitely attacked in the beginning of this live stream a lot of bloggers, a lot of people, and I also saw that a lot of comments as Mysonne was streaming were basically saying he's paid off by Roc Nation. A lot of people are saying anybody that agrees with this verdict is pretty much paid off by Roc Nation. But, you know, I don't know. These are one of those things that it's kind of hard to determine what happened unless you were there, because from what I've heard, there were a lot of lies on both sides, on the prosecution and the defense. And it seems like this whole case was a mess. But, you know, it's not about my opinion. It's about y'all opinion. Y'all let me know in the comment section how y'all feel about this. Because you know over here on Moxy Approved, right, we question everything and settle for nothing. So tell me in the comment section, do you think that Tory got a bad rap? Or do you think that this is a case where, you know, people are just allowing violence to happen to black women? I want to know how you feel. So let me know in the comment section. Moxy out.